Your connection has been fighting with us, Molana.
No, inshallah, no, but alhamdulillah, that was there and on now.
No, no, barakallahu fikum. Molana, the topic for this segment, I put it as Dawa and South African affairs, knowing well that Molana is very connected and well involved in the political sphere, representing the Sun Party, etc. But one thing I wanted us to use this time for, Molana, was inshallah how we can look at Islam as the solution to many of our social issues that we're facing local South Africans, inshallah. If Maulana can just, inshallah, take us through the point. Obviously, we need understanding of what Islam is and how Islam aligns with our local understandings of culture and Ubuntu and all these other topics that we always love to speak about, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To everyone, inshallah. Peace be upon you all. Also, and that alhamdulillah, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing me to be part and parcel of this, inshallah. And thank you, Jazakallah, to you, Molana, with your full day, inshallah, for inviting me to be part of this. Alhamdulillah. Yes,
Afwan Molana, before you carry on, inshallah, the sound is a bit too faint. We can't hear you. Inshallah, if Molana can bring the phone closer, I think it's audio is a bit very faint. Afwan.
I'm using my headset, so inshallah. Hopefully that you can hear me.
Yeah, it's a bit better. It's still the same, I think. Molana can carry on
All right.
speaking.
Yeah, yeah, I was saying that much exactly
Yeah,
our parents for allowing
much better.
us to be here. No, alhamdulillah. So we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for making us to be part of this night, alhamdulillah. Yes, Islam, especially if you look at in South Africa, uh, it's growing, alhamdulillah, within the black, so-called black communities, alhamdulillah, especially where I come from, where I am in Pumalanga,
Hmm,
alhamdulillah, Islam is growing because if you look at that, Islam goes with Ubuntu.
hmm.
Islam goes with the culture, with our culture. It's only for us as Muslims, to put that within the schools, within our neighbors, you know, uh, so that people can really understand the reality of Islam, the reality of the.
No, most definitely. Now, Molana, looking back at the point of Ubuntu, because we understand it obviously on our cultural point of view or perspective, especially when you're looking at the proverb of "it takes a village to raise a child," etc. That how back in the past you find that a whole community responsible for the upbringing of a child, even if the child doesn't have a mother or a father, but they always find a step, not step in a sense, but a deputy mother, deputy father in the community who end up showing them certain life perspectives of life, rather. Now, when it comes to Islam, we also have the same concept of taking care of people and wishing for your brother what you wish for yourself, etc. Now, Ubuntu comes in the perspective of how we can build the community and where how I can become a person through my brother and my sister who are part of the community. Now, how far are we driving away from this concept as an African local community, South African local community? And how can Islam now patch up all those cracks that we find happening now in this household of ours that we're trying to build, inshallah?
My brother, when you speak about Ubuntu and Islam, you have had a very good point. Say that taking care of the child that he doesn't have parents, and
Mm,
that's Islam itself. Because Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we are very like Muslims because we follow the Sunnah of our beloved Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
sallallahu
Nabi
alaihi
sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught us that we must be able to take good care of of the elderly people, not only Muslims, but for anybody who's elderly, the child that is not your child is part of the Sunnah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So
Mm.
that's what we are trying to do, inshallah, that we bring that into our lives so that we are able to take good care of our neighbors because you cannot go, you know. So that's what we are trying to do. As like we have seen, part of Soweto, they are the Muslim brothers and sisters. They are going to the neighbors and have breakfast and have lunch with them. That's the reality of Ubuntu. That's the reality of Islam. So that we show those people the love of Deen, the love of Islam. That we as Muslims we have the love of mankind, not only the love of a Muslim upon the Muslim. Inshallah.
No, this is
No,
interesting.
this is
Uh,
interesting.
now, we
Now,
again looking
we
at
again
this
looking at this
fun. Just having a
fun. Just having
little
a
sound issue with my set. But anyway, so again, looking again, there's a very beautiful point to start with of Ubuntu. Now, in terms of Molana, we spoke about how Islam is very rich in diversity, rich in culture, or upraising or lifting our cultures. One of the things I found, in past couple of months, we were busy with some um, janaza workshops, and one of the very beautiful thing with the janaza workshops that we found was that how we can tie our Islamic practices of the janaza, especially with the kafan, to our cultural practice of how our forefathers used to bury our dead with the hide of the cow, for example, and we using the kafan today. Now these are some of the similar aspects that we find that bring people closer to understanding more about Islam. Now we still, unfortunately, now it's 2025. We're still having the narrative in our local communities where people say that no, Islam is Sonto Lamakula, 1, 2, 3, it's not for us, etc. Now, how can we now bridge this gap with finding other practices that are there in Islam of showing to our people that look, man, Islam is not actually a foreign a way of life. It's actually what's more closer to our Isintu than what we have today as a modern culture and modern lifestyles.
Brother, I think Molana, you have touched a very good point. The issue when you come to the issue of janaza, there are many. You can talk about the janaza. That what I've learned up to so far with my experience is that, especially with us Muslims, we sometimes there are things that we hide from people, so those who are not Muslims, so that they can get experience, so that they can see. For us, for people to say that Islam is for Indians, for Makula, and all those things, we as Muslims, those who got the kalima la ilaha illallah within the community, so we are the ones that we're supposed now to go out there and show the people what Islam teaches us that is part of Ubuntu. Like for example, the issue of the janaza. With my understanding, where I am, even when I used to be in Joburg around Soweto and all the other places, if we had a janaza of a Muslim, knowing that most of us we coming from non-Muslim families, we will invite some of the family members to be part and parcel of that janaza, of the husul, when they are making husul. So they get explained about the kafan and everything. When we come back from there, we don't take the janaza straight direct to the kabristan. We bring the janaza back to the house so that then the family certify themselves that this person that has is born. While we are waiting for that, outside we make one of the members of the family or maybe their neighbors who is not a Muslim, so that he must explain to the people how the ghusl was done and explain also about the kafan. So we use them to be the ones that explain to them. So that becomes part of dawah at the same time. So that also makes them to fully understand that how, because Most people they will tell you if we as Muslims we die, we put a pipe from the back, come out from the other side, we scrap him with the boiling water. So you make these people to be able to explain themselves of what they have seen, and most of people out of there, most of people they become Muslims. I remember in 2001 when my 2004 when my wife, my late wife passed away. May Allah give her Jannah Firdaus, inshallah. My mother-in-law with my mother, they went to see when they were making her ghusl. My mother-in-law from there, when she came back home already, she was a Muslim because she have seen how the ghusl that is done. You understand? So, that's what we have to show because that's part of Ubuntu. The way how we Muslims vary is that even at the Kabristan, we bring them there. We don't give them a boundary and say, no, stay very far there. No, we bring them, let them come and see how we vary. Then it becomes part of Dawah, and then people start, inshallah, to say that me also when I die, people will tell you, no, me also when I die, I want to be buried like this, so that you tell the person, like for you to be buried like this, you must become a Muslim so that you can be buried like that, inshallah.
No, most definitely, Molana. And I believe that it's always the small things that people don't understand. It's always the small things that make a big impact. Anyway, Jazakumullah khairan, Molana. I really appreciate your time. I know, unfortunately, through the network, we couldn't have more time tonight and discuss more issues. But inshallah, most definitely in the near future, we'd have more time to go deeper into other issues or other points of how we can give dawah. I call it passive dawah also, when you're not directly giving dawah, but alhamdulillah, it happens to become dawah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us understanding of deen and how we can also be a means of others, inshallah, becoming Muslim at the same time, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair.
Okay. May Allah reward you, inshallah.
Ameen. Jazakumullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. So that brings us to the end of the show tonight, and Alhamdulillah, it's always a jam-packed evening on Thursday evenings. Alhamdulillah, where we have a beautiful lineup and guests who are ready to impart some knowledge or experiences and how we can see the dawah field in South Africa on a different platform. And Alhamdulillah, I believe that it's about time that each and every person stands up and say, you know what. It's my time to give dawah, even if it can be one eye of the Quran, one sign of the Quran, or one practice of Islam. I can go out and start giving dawah for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And again, it's a beautiful Thursday evening. Let's not forget, tomorrow is Friday, inshallah. That means we have to make a lot of durood upon the creators of mankind, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, and make sure that, inshallah, we read our Surah Al Kahf, inshallah, for protection. And lastly but not least, let's not forget those who are beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why do I say beloved to Allah? Because they withstood all the trials, all the challenges of life, but subhanallah, their iman was unwavering as they stood and always saying that inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring victory into our lives, inshallah, where we will see the brothers and sisters of Palestine moving freely in their homelands, returning home without any fear and without any other sense of insecurities, etc., etc. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them full victory, even if it doesn't happen in my lifetime. May it happen, inshallah, and it will happen, inshallah. Nasr min Allahi wa fathun qareeb, inshallah ta'ala. And again, let's not forget also those who are going through many other difficulties. Besides Palestine, we all know that Syria also has been facing some challenges. Sudan has been facing challenges, and inshallah, the wars are getting a bit settled because the Sudanese army did take over the biggest part, which was Khartoum, inshallah, and trying to put things back into place again. It will take time, but inshallah, slowly we get in there. We look at Myanmar, brothers and sisters, still going through uh, extinction, rather, another genocide that's been played underground, which we're not really careful of. Brothers and sisters in Kashmir also with the difficulties. And may we make dua that no Muslims countries come to fight each other in this cause of what has been happening recently between the Zionists and Iran. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our du'as, assist us in our difficulties, and let us not forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our times of joy, so that Allah doesn't forget us in the times of sadness, inshallah ta'ala. Again, it's a call to guidance, a show that plays every Thursday evening. Now we've moved down to a slot of 7:30 to 9 o'clock, inshallah, giving us a 30 minutes head start because we always have a lot to talk about and just not enough time. But Alhamdulillah, should soon it will be inshallah 2 hours. Right, let's keep us in your du'as and everyone, our beloved ones, inshallah. We say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.